Well, how's it going today, folks? I'm Brapper Don, and welcome back to the Brap Shack. Today we are going to take a quick look at a couple of the things I've done to Old Hurton, the green Honda, and the Braptor, the 350 Raptor 2005. And then we're going to assemble a bottom end crankcase for 2007 Sportsman 500 HO. So let's get to it. First we'll go outside and we'll take a look at Old Hurton, the loyal green Honda. There she is, she got her name tag. Isn't that spiffy? There's the Braptor 2005 Raptor 350 Special Edition. We took the old carrier, we got her cleaned right up, painted nice blue, new bearings and seals. Good to go. Got a new Torque 1 racing shifter to delete all of the mechanical linkage that was here originally. That shifter is for, I believe, mid 2000s YZ dirt bike. So 2 out of the shop and on the road. And that's about it. I would have made videos for those 2, but Brapper John was halfway done the carrier by the time I came out, and yeah, Old Hurton just got a decal, so not really much to show there. But here is the crankcase for the 2007 Sportsman 500 HO. Now what happened to this machine? I'll grab the piston. Let's take a look at this piston here. There's a bag of piston chunks. That's how the piston came out of the cylinder, just like that. And most of this was actually down in the crankcase. Now, if you look real close, the timing marks, there's one. So the other timing mark should be right here. But what happened was when chunks of the piston fell down into the crankcase, here I'll get a light so you can see this better. When chunks of the piston fell down into the crankcase, you see them on the teeth there? They got run through the gears, which pushed the gears away from each other far enough. There's some more. It pushed the gears far enough away from each other, because here is the other timing mark right there. It pushed the gears far enough away from each other that the timing marks completely moved away from each other, to the point where, let's see if you can see this. You can't really see it too well, but the crank balancer, I must have moved it, but the crank balancer and the bottom of the connecting rod were slamming into each other. So when I first got this quad, it could only do 2/3 of a revolution in any direction, and they were hitting each other. Most of this piston material was down here in the crank, and so we have a good used crank with bearings, and we have a new balancer, good used balancer, and a good used pump. And we're going to install those 3 items today into the crank, and that'll be it for today, because I don't have the top end pieces, or they should be here in the next day or two, along with the oil seal kit. So we're gonna do what we can today, and I'll make another video for the top end. So let's get to it. First thing that we need to do, we'll remove everything from in here, and we'll get these 2 halves cleaned up. So we'll start with the oil pump. So I don't know if you can see that. All that aluminum still pushed into the teeth there. That's piston. So we'll set that off to the side with the balancer and the oil pump. And we'll just set them down here. Now we'll pop this oil seal out of here. So we'll prop it up just a little bit off the table. We'll take a screwdriver and we'll just pop the seal out. Just careful not to score the mating surface of the seal in the crankcase, or your next seal won't seal properly. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up all the old gasket, and then we'll take it outside and we'll clean it off with some brake clean. This other half, this bearing, I don't see how it's protruding. Probably 3/16, 7 inch, maybe even a 1/4 inch. I don't know if it's supposed to be protruding like that. See if we can go. No longer protruding. We're going to reuse that bearing. Just tapped it back into place. This seal, I don't believe is in the kit that I ordered, the oil seal kit, so that seal is as well gonna stay. So we're pretty much at the point where we're gonna clean up the gasket that's on here, and we're gonna get ready to go spray this down with brake clean. Got our gasket scraper ready. Carefully, so as what not to, you don't want to score up the mating surfaces, or they won't seal up properly, and you'll end up with oil leaks. Nobody likes oil leaks after building an engine. So we'll just go around, we'll carefully take off all the old gasket. Toss that down onto the floor. You want to try and get off, as much of the gasket as you can. So it doesn't interfere with the sealing of the new, or, you don't want this crap floating around your engine. If it happens to come loose, after the fact. So, clean as much of that off of there as you can. Whoever was the last person to put this engine together, they used about 3 or 4 different colors of silicone throughout the engine. Sorry if half the time I'm not pointing the camera in the right direction. I'm waiting for my new GoPro to get in. So right now I'm using a Kodak action cam, and it doesn't sit very well on the chest harness. So kind of pointing you all over the fucking place here. But I'll try my best to have you looking at what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got most of this gasket off. Nice and clean over here. So we'll pop this bearing out real quick. It's the crank over here. The guy I bought this from, he said this was out of a low kilometers, 1200 kilometers Foreman 450 that just got smashed up, and the engine was good, and he parted it out. So I got the crank, the balancer, and the oil pump all from the same engine, low kilometers. So we're just going to use those just the way they came out. So we're going to get this bearing out of here. You'd never want to remove a bearing this way if you planned on trying to reuse it. It's not such a good idea, but seeing as how this one we know, I mean, it's probably still a good bearing. Doesn't got any slop or flat spots that I can feel, but this bearing is from a 4,000 kilometer engine that had been through hell, and those bearings are out of a 1,200 kilometer engine, so we're not going to try and reuse anything that we don't have to. So let's take these outside and let's get them sprayed off with some brake clean. Start with this one. So got those all sprayed off and give them a minute to dry up a little bit. And then we'll start the reassembly. So while those are drying up, we can take a look at the new old parts. We'll slice those boxes open. We'll get this chain a little bit cleaned off here. There's the balancer. Oh yeah, buddy sure wrapped these things up good. He didn't skimp on the fucking saran wrap, that's for sure. There's the oil pump. That's pretty good. And then the crank. There's the crank. Awesome. Oh, gotta go. Someone here.